So I'm not going to be one of those people that go, not my president. He ain't my president. Because the fact of the matter is, he is the president. So if you're a citizen of the United States, Joe Biden is your president. Whether or not it was legal, whether or not he got there through nefarious means or not, whether or not he's right or he's wrong, he still is the president. So I'm not going to be one of those people that goes, not my president. Joe Biden is my president. I live in America. I'm an American citizen. He's the president of the United States. He is my president. And I'll give him the respect that that office deserves. I'm not going to call for his head. I'm not going to do that, because whether or not I like it, and I don't like it, he is the president. That being said, I don't like him. That being said, I didn't vote for him. So whenever he does something I think is bad, I'm going to point it out, because I didn't vote for him. Now, all those people that didn't vote for Donald Trump, right? They could voice their opinion and voice, because they didn't vote for him, right? But now that shoe's on the other foot. You voted for Joe Biden and he does something bad, which he just did like 17 bad things on the first fucking day. All those executive orders he signed, they're bad for the country. They're not good for the country. You fucks can't complain about it. People like to say, oh, if you don't vote, you have no right to complain. I disagree with that. Because if you voted for a guy and he comes into office and he does bad things and he fucks up, you're part of the problem. You're the reason he got there. So you have no right to complain because you voted for him. A lot of people don't look at it that way, but it's the truth. So all you Biden supporters, all you Democrats that voted for him, you guys got to shut your mouth. But see, here's the big difference. Is when he fucks up, the media ain't going to cover it fucking the right way. They're always going to spin it because they're in his back pocket. So it's going to be harder to call him out on his bullshit. And most Democrats would just go along with it because they're in their little bubble, right? And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's why we as conservatives need to still be vocal. Even though they're trying to censor us, even though they're trying to shut up, we need to, every time he does something bad, point it out. This is bad. This is bad. And there'll be times when the Democrats will have no choice but to agree. And then that's when you tell them, hey, by the way, your opinion doesn't really matter because you voted for him. You don't have the right to complain. You voted for it. You need to just shut up and take it. All those people that didn't vote for him, yeah, we can complain away because we didn't vote for that asshole. He's still the president, right? He's my president for the foreseeable future. We'll see how that goes. But y'all can't complain. You have no standing. And you probably won't complain because you're so brainwashed and you believe all this bullshit. Critical race theory. You believe that allowing 11 million immigrants to become citizens without going through the process, right, is going to be a good thing for the country. It's not. It's not. We have 5 million jobless claims. You're going to add that many more people to that number? I mean, come on. Nobody's looking at it that way. Humanity. Nobody was saying nothing about humanity. These people deserve a shot just like anybody else. That picture I saw today, him sitting at the desk and there's a stack of executive orders, like 1.5 feet tall. And then you go down to the list of all the things he signed on his first day. No, you think number one priority would be this coronavirus thing in the economy? That'd be number one, because that is the biggest concern, among other things, but that right now is the biggest concern. You would think that'd be the first fucking thing he signs. No, everything he signed was against Donald Trump. Everything he signed was to fucking erase Donald Trump. Stopping the wall. That doesn't help America. That just makes it easier for people to get into the country that shouldn't be here. Stopping the Keystone Pipeline. That doesn't help America. That just gives more power to Russia. Right? Which is funny, because all these fucks that Russia, they're supporting something that totally benefits Russia. You couldn't write this shit. You couldn't write this shit up. Whole list of other shit that he signed into. It's all to just put things back the way they think it should be. These are all executive orders, right? They weren't debated, they weren't talked about, they were just done. Every single one of them. It's a very dangerous thing, because when he's done doing that, undoing everything Donald Trump does, what's going to stop him from signing other shit? How long until there's an executive order saying, if you don't wear a mask, you're gonna go to jail? If you write something, if you say something that we deem is hate speech, it's funny how all of a sudden the arbiters of what's right becomes just one side of the conversation. Am I going to be demonized for thinking the way I do because it's not mainstream, because it's not what they think is right? That was weird. The guy was sitting in his car just beeping his horn on the side of the road. I guess that's not weird for this time. That's normal. Where do we go? Where do we go from here, man? Where's the next stop? 20 days into the new year. Unfortunately, people don't learn until they've fallen on their ass. That's just the reality of it. That's been humankind since our existence. We don't learn anything until we fall on our ass. We don't learn from the past, which is sad, because you can just go study the past just in our last 100 years of existence and see all the mistakes we made, and we're making the same mistakes. It was Martin Luther King Day the other day. Now, a man, he had his faults just like any other man, but his message was still a good message, and his message was about unity. And his message was, don't judge me because of my color, judge me by my character. Those are his words, though. So he's saying the color of your skin doesn't matter. Well, look at the civil rights movement right now as it is. It's all about the color of your skin. Because your skin is a certain color, that means you're oppressed, And that means you have the right to just do bad things because you're oppressed. If Martin Luther King was alive today, he'd be shaking his head. Like, this is where we've come. All that shit I did in the 60s was for nothing. This is where we're at. I mean, there's actual segregation going on. I mean, you might think, what the fuck are you talking about? But they have these things in college saying if this certain service, this certain whatever is for people of color. That's segregation, man. That's total segregation. Martin Luther King is rolling over in his grave and just, it's horrible. It's horrible. Like I said in the other video, the head of the civil rights thing is a lady who thinks that black people are superior because of the melanin in their skin. No shit. You guys should look it up. Look up who's going to be the head of the civil rights, secretary of the civil rights department, whatever it's called. And this is a lady that went to Harvard. I saw this interview that Dave Rubin did. Dave Rubin, he was a Democrat for a long time, and he saw the hypocrisy. You know, he doesn't want to call himself a Republican because he doesn't really agree, because he was a Democrat. But he is smart enough to see the hypocrisy in his own party, and so he doesn't call himself a Democrat anymore. He was interviewing this black man who writes for the New York Times. Okay? And this black man was writing about how BLM versus MLK, the differences. And he was saying the same things I was saying about how Martin Luther King's message is totally missing from the modern civil rights movement. Totally missing. And so you may call what this black man is saying controversial, but this is a black man saying these things. Now, it made me wonder. He writes for the New York Times. Does he? I would think he understands the fact that if his skin color was white, he wouldn't be writing for the New York Times. If he had all the same opinions that he was talking about, but he was a white man, he wouldn't be writing for the New York Times. The only reason why he used to write for the New York Times is not because his message is right, which I agree with his message. It's only because he's black. Because if they were to fire him or not allow him, they would think they're crossing some line, you know? So that's the reality of it. If a white person was writing that same article, he wouldn't be writing for the New York Times. Simple as that. Even though the message is right, it shouldn't matter who's writing that message. But it does. That's just one example of the double standard we have here in America. If a white person was to come out and write that article, he'd be called a racist. He'd be called all the most horrible things you could say. But the fact that it was a black man that wrote it, nothing. That's where we're at. That's where we're at right now. To think that's where we've come down to. And a lot of people say, see, this is what Donald Trump did to America. I totally disagree with you. This whole identity movement, it all started under Barack Obama. I love how people forget where this shit started. Black Lives Matter didn't start under Donald Trump. It started under Obama. Joe Biden Biden, he's a moderate Democrat. It's always been a moderate Democrat. And you can go back in his history and see some of the shit he said about black people. But again, that doesn't matter, right? That doesn't matter. Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, they were against same-sex marriage. You can go look it up. But then they changed course. Nobody bats an eye. Nobody says shit. Oh, look at this flip-flopper. No, nobody said nothing about that. Tulsi Gabbard didn't back same-sex marriage, but she changed her tune. But they gave her shit for it because she was going against the mainstream. Because she was saying things they didn't like. Funny, huh? And the funny part is she's a Democrat too. That's the funny part. Oh, it doesn't matter your party. It only matters what you believe in. And if you don't believe in the mainstream narrative, you don't deserve to have a voice. You don't even deserve to exist. And I see people I know that it's staring them right in the face and they're just ignoring it. And they're looking at me like I'm the crazy one. Oh, Cody, you're freaking out. It's like, I'm not freaking out. I'm just pointing out the fact that this is concerning. And it's funny how when Donald Trump was elected president, you freaked out. You guys lost your fucking collective shit. He's gonna do this, he's gonna do that. Well, he didn't do any of those things that you guys said he was gonna do. Oh, he's got his hand on the fucking nuclear football. We're gonna go into war. That never happened. We didn't get into any new wars. He's the first president since Jimmy Carter not to get into any fucking new wars. Think about that for a second. How long before Joe Biden gets into some fucking war? Yeah, it's going to happen, but nobody's going to talk about that. All the things they said Donald Trump was going to do never happened. Never happened. Now, I'm talking about the shit that I think Joe Biden's going to do, and people are saying, no, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And I understand that it might never happen. But then again, how come I don't get to voice my opinion? You guys got to voice your opinion for 4 fucking years. The moment we voice our opinions, you guys fucking... How do you guys react? Ban us. Stifle our speech. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. On and on about Russia, how he's an agent of Russia. One of the first things Joe Biden did was something that benefits Russia. No, who's an agent of Russia? Oh, no. He's a conservative. That's just a conspiracy theory. Like, how can you win? How can you win in this environment? You can't. That's giving up. Not that you can't. It's just, it's fucking ridiculous. The double standard and the hypocrisy is fucking ridiculous. Well, this kind of shit always bites the perpetrators in the ass. It always does. So, just have to wait. But these people might be so stupid and so brainwashed, they won't even see it. Half the country are truly idiots.